What's up, everyone? Mr. Joe here, coming to you from my home office here. I don't have much other than Baby Yoda in the back, keeping an eye on things. I'm still kind of renovating and putting some furniture in here. Um, but I'm here today to kind of talk to you guys. I miss you guys. Haven't gotten to see you in a while with all the craziness going on. So I had this idea to kind of record myself making a fool of myself in some video games, talking to you guys for a few minutes, giving you a quick lesson, talking um, about our Heavenly Father through all this craziness, and just sharing that with you guys and sharing that love. Um, and I love video games. Obviously, a lot of you know I work in the video game industry. I love to watch streamers play, but I've actually never done much of this myself. I've never really recorded myself playing games, so bear with me through the technical difficulties and figuring it all out. But I appreciate you all. Um, let's dive right in. I picked Minecraft for this first one. I never really played Minecraft a whole bunch, but during this pandemic, being home with my kids, I've been trying to get my daughter into video games since probably she was born. And Minecraft is the first one that really like clicked with her little brain that she enjoys watching and messing around with. So I started to dive in more. So let's go ahead. I'm going to make a new creative world. And I'm by no means a Minecraft expert. I'm sure we have some of you out there watching, and you're probably going to yell at the screen saying, what are you doing, Mr. Joe? That's not how you do it. You could tell me when I see you again in person all the tips that you might have for me. So I'll just call this world RC Kids. I'm going to switch to creative mode. I'm going to make sure it's always day so we don't have to deal with the nighttime. And I'll turn off enemies because we don't want to deal with that either for right now. All right, that should be good. What I wanted to do for this first idea was just like try and recreate our church building in Minecraft, which I thought was cool. And choosing the right spot in Minecraft is everything. So that's just going to be our first task here. We just want like a flat spot where we could build a building. Oh, we got a pretty cool start. I don't want to spend too much time looking. Let's go over here. It's like looks flat down here. Might not be big enough though. Nah, this is pretty good. We can always fill in spots and stuff. All right, so we got our spot picked out. As far as like a little lesson and what I wanted to chat about today was obedience. So I've been thinking a lot about obedience since I've been home with my kids, and just the sheer lack of obedience to for having a lack of a better way to say that. It's just crazy to think about, even at such young ages, 1, 2. I mean, my kids are 2 and 4, but just as an example, from when they were that young, just how much we lean towards disobedience, even without having any knowledge of what it means to be obedient or disobedient, or what the repercussions are, or the consequences of that. And that's all of us through all ages of. It's just crazy how we lean towards being disobedient. So I kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit. I'm gonna start to. I've also only played Minecraft on the Switch and PlayStation, so I'm getting used to the PC controls. I'm on PC right now, so it's easier to record myself. I'm just gonna start clearing out. This is a little loud. Let me see if I could lower that for you guys a little bit. Sound volume, do like 70. Cool. That's a little better. Actually, let me do a little more. That's going to be annoying while I'm trying to talk. and you guys got to listen to that. We'll just drop both down to 50. All right, back on track. So, first part of Minecraft is getting your clear spot out. So that's a little boring. So I'm gonna just kind of talk through that a bit. So back to obedience. It starts in the 10 Commandments. In the Old Testament, it says, "Honor your father and your mother, so that you may live long in the land the Lord your God is giving you." And then the New Testament version, where that's repeated, is, "Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and mother, which is the first commandment with a promise, so that it may go well with you and that you may enjoy long life on the earth." So we kind of have both bookends there. It started as important, being in the 10 Commandments, and then it's re-mentioned later on, and stressing that it's the first commandment with a promise, that's giving you a promise attached to it, that if you obey your parents and honor your father and mother, you can have a long life on the earth, which is, who doesn't want that? And this is not just the teaching. Sorry, I'm getting focused on my talking. Got important ground clearing to do. This is not just a teaching for kids, kids, teens, adults. We're all called to be obedient, both to our guardians, our caretakers, and also to our Heavenly Father, Jesus. So, this goes for everybody. And back to my kids a little bit. I can just share some funny examples while I'm doing some more clearing. My daughter has this new thing. Of course not. So she'll say, "Of course not," when you're trying to discipline or get her to do something. So, eat your vegetables. Of course not. It's time for bed. Of course not. So, with my dad humor, I've turned that around on her with, "Oh, dessert? Of course not. You can't have dessert. Of course not." Or play more games on your tablet? Of course not. So I've had some fun with that. But the fun only lasts so long when you're trying to discipline your kids. And then my son, he does this funny thing where if he's holding something in his hand that he shouldn't be, whether it's like something dangerous or something he took from his sister who was playing with it first and not sharing well, you stop him and you try and discipline him and tell him that was wrong. He'll look at you right in the eyes, straight face, no emotion, no body movement for a couple seconds, and then he'll just fling whatever he was holding across the room, clear across the room. So as a comedy enthusiast, it's hilarious. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. But as a dad trying to discipline his son, not so much, not as funny. But again, we all have these examples just to paint a picture here of disobedience and how parents really, they just want their best for their kids or guardians and caretakers. They just want the best for whoever they're looking over. And it's not always easy. And I started to think about how does God see that with us when we're disobedient? All of us, again, teens, adults, because we're all disobedient, probably too often than God would like. And I know how frustrated I get as an earthly dad, and how just thinking about how frustrated he must get with us when we're disobedient. So anyway, I'm kind of just painting a picture there for why I've been thinking about obedience and disobedience. And it's not meant to be a bummer or something lame, but kind of something that sets us free. Sorry, I'm just going to pause here for a second. It's meant to be freeing. I always like when folks talking about obedience give the example of a fence or a barrier around a playground. So at face value, it looks like a barrier. It looks like something impeding you or stopping you. But it's actually setting you free. It's setting kids free to enjoy their time safely on the playground, setting parents free, or who's ever watching over the kids that day free from having to worry excessively. So it's a barrier, it's an obstruction, a blocker, but it's all meant to keep you free. And another way to kind of think about it is a funnier way to think about it is Randy from A Christmas Story. I don't know if you've all seen A Christmas Story. I'll try and show a picture up here. But there's a famous scene where he's about to walk to school in the snow, and his mother wraps him up in winter clothes to the point where he can barely move. So again, I'm sure it felt restrictive to poor Randy, but it was freedom for him and for his mother to not get frostbite or whatever it was, to be safe in the snow. And that's kind of how it is with God and our kind of call to be obedient. It's not meant to be a bummer or something lame or something that's we don't want to do. It's meant to set us free. James calls it law that gives freedom in one verse. I've been talking a lot. I didn't realize how much I would talk rather than play the game. So let's do a little bit more here. I have a Google Street View of our church because it's been so long. I kind of forgot some of the intricacies. So just to lay it out here and visualize, there's like a parking lot here I'll have to do. And over there is the building. Forgot the window structure, but there's 4 sets of windows, 2 on each side, and then in the middle is the door with some columns. All right, so we'll get to that in a second here. Actually, I should probably get started. Let's see what's a good ground for road, like the parking lot. Could go old school, do cobblestone, but not really taking horse carriages to church these days. Block of coal is kind of like cement and concrete. Let's see what's in nature. Obsidian's a little too shiny. Stone. Black stone. All right, we'll do a sample test. Just like the HGTV shows that my wife watches. We could lay out some samples here and see what looks best as a road. I'll try obsidian too. I think that might do it. Nah. Well, actually, they have just concrete. Oh, here we go. Black concrete. That's probably going to be the best one. Here. Let's do like do them separated out. Whoops. Again, bear with me. I'm getting used to PC controls. All right. I like this one here. What was this one? Block of coal, because it has a little imperfection in there. It's not like straight black like concrete was. I'll try that. Let me put some more next to each other and see how it looks. Yeah, it looks pretty good. That's a parking lot. get rid of these. All right, this is our foundation for the parking lot. Again, it's going to be much bigger, but we'll figure it all out as we go. Oh, I forgot one more important piece of gameplay before we wrap up our lesson and close out the first video here. We need Pastor David. We need a mannequin Pastor David to oversee everything that's going on here. So let me find everything I need for mannequin Pastor David. His head. Stick with me, I know exactly what I'm doing, even though it might not look like it. Let's see a whole book. Alright, so let's try this out. Oh. Alright, so that looks like Pastor David a little bit. I don't have many options anyway, as you can see. What do you think? Out of these 5 or so heads, I think this one is probably the closest to Pastor David. Let's go with that one. He usually wears black shirts. Oh boy. Yep. Let's try that again. Nope. Oh boy. Alright. Back on track. I need the controller. I'm used to the controller here. Alright, there we go. Right click. Right click is what I want. Alright, he usually wears black shirts. Usually has puffy shoulder pads too, so that works out nicely. Usually has jeans on. You know, maybe not that color, but close enough. It usually has some sort of white sneakers on. And then let's see if it lets him. Here's his Bible. He's holding a Bible. So here we go. This is Pastor David. Exactly how he looks in real life. He's going to watch over the construction here. He's going to let us know if it's to his liking. And we're going to hope that he says, wow, this is much better than the theater. As a New York boy, I just love the way he says theater. So let's hope at the end that's what he says. All right, I think we're going to have to stop with leave it at this for the gameplay side of things. We might have to come back and kind of finish this up in several episodes. But let me try and close out the teaching part of this. So as I was saying, it's not meant to be a bummer or lame. It's meant to give us freedom, and it's meant to get easier and easier as we grow closer to Jesus and grow closer to our parents in love, who are trying to be obedient to. In Romans, Paul calls it obedience that comes from faith. So it gets easier and easier as our faith grows. And, you know, as long as we start with and hold fast to our faith in Jesus, the obedience that sets us free will follow that. And to kind of summarize and close this out, I'll bring it all back to love. You know, you love Jesus and your parents and your grandparents and your guardians and your caretakers and your teachers, right? You love all these folks in your life. So let's show them love by being obedient to them and listening to them. I think that's the greatest gift we can give there. And I'll be sure to keep you guys informed in the chronicles of my own life. Again, I love my kids, don't get me wrong. But I really wanted to kind of look into obedience more, talk about it more. And I hope you enjoyed this quick lesson. I was a little bit scattered, but I'll get better at both balancing gameplay and a lesson at the same time. We'll figure it out together. And I'll try and do more of these even after we start to meet back in church. You know, I'll try and maybe do a few of these as I can now that's easier. I have all the software set up and stuff like that. So again, I love you all. I miss you guys. Can't wait to see you again in person. Stay safe, stay healthy, and most of all, be obedient to who's ever taking care of you. I'll see you guys soon.
It's been a long night, it's been a long fight. So just remind me now, everything will be alright.